Welcome to Podtendo's Legend of Zelda Retrospective. We are going to be primarily looking at Majora's Mask during these next few shows. We are going to be doing a deep dive into thematical elements, gameplay, and the design of this game. Enjoy. Hey guys, welcome to Podtendo's... is this the right part? Yeah, that's the right part. Retrospective of Majora's Mask. We've been doing this all year. We got, I think, one more show after this, so 2 more shows, including today's show. It's pretty exciting. You can contact us. Check us out on Twitter. We're at Podtendo Podcast. Email us podtendo@gmail.com. Other than that, I'm your host, Mick. I'm joined every episode by my lovely technology host,
Tyson.
Made perfect sense. You just have to slow down the recording, like slow down the podcast, and I will say actually all the words. I wasn't speaking too fast and started mumbling, so take that. So there you go. So pretty exciting stuff. Still cracking it. Welcome to Podtendo's Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask Retrospective. We're going to do a deep dive into thematic elements, gameplay, game design, and the characters that helped create one of the most challenging narratives in any Zelda game. We're going to spoil the adventure, so if you haven't experienced the game for yourself, or it's just been a while, please go play it for yourself before continuing this show. I don't know, then it's kind of fell apart in the end there. I stopped reading. So in our 3rd episode, we looked at the controls, told our stories of getting back into this game. We looked at the 2nd town main dungeons, the 2nd 2 main dungeons, I don't know, got a horse, fought aliens, played Metal Gear Solid again, saved a little girl, and fought some skeletons. Finally, we looked at the mysterious Romani Ranch and what was going on there. So today we find ourselves Majora Mask, developed by Nintendo, 3.636 million copies. I literally just stopped reading. Apparently I'm tired. Released October 22nd, 2000. How long to beat has this game at 20.5 hours. It's on the N64, 3DS, GameCube, and Wii. The story so far. So after the Snowhead, we got our horse, which led us to the Great Bay, which led us to a dead Zora, which led us to an egg hunt, and we defeated the Great Bay Temple. Afterwards, we visited the graveyard, learned the Song of Storms, saved a Gibdo Dad, traded some things in a well, and fought some skeleton castles, before finally taking on the most iconic level in any 3D Zelda dungeon, or maybe just this game, because I think Great Bay Temple is probably the best 3D Zelda level anyways. But that brings us to today, so that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, we've been building up to this one for a while now. It's pretty neat to kind of accomplish everything that we wanted to get done, and to actually like run around and get a lot of the side quests done, because man, there's a lot to actually explore in this game.
Yeah.
And if you actually want to immerse yourself into a game, this might be the most immersive one, minus one, or, it might be top 3. I'll say top 3, because I can think of 2 that might be slightly more immersive.
In terms of Zelda?
Yeah.
Like Skyward Sword is more immersive. Or not Skyward, Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, and I was thinking Wind Waker.
Yeah, fair enough. This one is kind of cool because it is a very small contained world. And we'll get into that. So basically, we're going to talk about masks. That's what we're going to talk about today, is the masks. That's a big part of this game, right? And just kind of go through those steps. And then we're going to end this game so we can kind of talk about randomizer, which actually might change the order. I'll look into that. So at some point, maybe I'll create us a seed and send it to us. Then we can like have a challenge who can get further, which might push. Anyways, beyond the point. Masks are great. But one of the side quests, the big one that we're obviously going to talk about, the couples mask, it's really cool that there's cutscenes in a Zelda game that are triggered by your interactions with the world. It's interesting to kind of break it down into that part, right? Like it's not just right?
Yeah, probably like one of the most story-driven Zeldas with actual cutscenes, acting, Link, not necessarily, like he doesn't say anything, but yeah, essentially like without him, you don't uncover a lot of the side quests and a lot of the story that's like this is more story and cutscenes than bloody Breath of the Wild did.
Yeah. Well, Breath of the Wild was pretty bare bones. More like what's a big one? Twilight Princess?
Twilight Princess, yeah.
Twilight Princess and this are probably comparable, but Twilight Princess were like all story. This is all side quests, right? So it's kind of interesting at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, so today, now that we've unlocked the 4 giants, we can go fight Skull Kid. But I want some mask side quests. So let's go through and discuss how to get each mask. If it's useless, and does it have other intangibles? Let's vote and see if a mask is good or bad. And keep score. The over-under of this game, so there's 24 masks in total, is 8.5. which means if you go over, you think there's going to be at least 9 good masks. And if you go under, you think that there's about 8 or less than 8 good masks. So you ready? I'm going to keep score. I've got this official piece of Podtendo paper right there. As I read through them, you just have to vote. I've already got my vote in. Maybe I'll keep score somewhere. But yeah, that's the game we're going to play. So we're going to start out with the Deku Mask. So it turns you into a Deku. You can fly, skip on water, and shoot bubbles. How do you get it? You play the game. You start out as a Deku.
Yeah. This one's useful, I think, because I mean you wouldn't be able to progress the game without it.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
And you can solve a lot of little puzzles.
It does have some purposes, and it's not completely useless. So I'll agree. About the Goron Mask. So you become a Goron. You can roll, pound, and butt punch. You get it by progressing the story, by rescuing the spirit. You get a mask. It helps you progress the game.
Yeah, that one definitely, because you can't lift the powder keg without being a Goron.
That is an important item in this game. Important item. So about the Zora Mask, you become a Zora. You can swim, become electric, and you know karate.
Yeah, I gotta give it to this one because I mean, just being able to dolphin jump is worth it.
Yeah, there you go. So then you get it by saving a dying Zora.
Yep.
Yay! Or maybe like I think actually he dies. You just like make his soul, or you say you're gonna carry on his mission or something. Maybe that's it. You're like, I'll take over, and he said, all right, I'm gonna die and just leave you my face.
Yeah. There's the you can get into the darkness of this.
All right, what about the Fierce Deity Mask? So not yet. Wiki face. It's a cute note. I'm gonna say sure.
Yes.
So 4 for 4.
Yeah.
Obviously,
yes.
like. I mean, you didn't bet on over under. What do you think?
No, I'm gonna say take the over.
Okay, you're gonna go. Over. He's gonna go over. I'm gonna go under. Well, just for no reason. So 4 for 4. We've got 4 good masks. That means there's got to be more useful masks coming up.
Yeah.
Or are there? So the Great Fairy Mask. You can obtain it by returning the stray fairy after the first reset. It helps you find the stray fairies in the temples. If you like double magic and double defense, this mask's free.
Yeah, the double magic and double defense is, as well as it does help you collect any of those damn stray fairies because there's way too many of them.
I don't think you could actually be able to get them all because lots of the ones by the ceilings you actually need this mask. So it's like kind of full in that sense.
Yep.
Good or bad?
Good.
All right, yeah. Good. How about the Cafe Mask? So Cafe's mother will give this to you so you can help search for her son. You need it to queue certain events in the Couple's Mask quest.
Kind of a useless mask. Just essentially, you have a mask to get another.
That's it. How about the Bremen's Mask? So given to you by an organ grinder, and it unlocks the bunny hood. You kind of march in place.
Not super useful, but there is that cute moment in the one stone temple, I want to say, where you can do that with the skeletons, and you can start dancing or you can start marching, and then they'll follow you behind.
All right.
So can be helpful for, I guess, dealing with enemies.
Comedy.
Yeah.
So useful mask.
I'll give it. It's kind of a pass.
All right, how about Camaro Mask? So if you heal Camaro, he's like this dead dancing guy. He gives it to you, and it unlocks 1 heartbeat.
Kind of passable.
All right. There we go. So we're killing it. So Blast Mask. So if you save the old lady from the bomb shop from being robbed, you get this mask, and basically you get unlimited bombs. Sort of.
Very, very useful. I use this instead of just bombs in general because it can just detonate when you want it to.
There you go. How about the bunny hood? So near Romani's ranch, you need to use this marching Bremen's mask to round up chickens to unlock this mask. This may be the most important mask in the game.
Then
apparently I voted. So
yeah, it's useful.
Well, look at that. We're at 7 already, and we still have a lot of masks to go. So this is close, I suppose. How about the Keaton's mask? So Cafe is seen wearing it near the water. It's called I always thought it was the wash bay or something. I don't know, wherever he's hiding out. And while you're doing the Couple's Mask side quest, you can get this. I think you get it because he leaves it behind when he goes off to fight the thief or something. And you can use it to find a Keaton who answers questions to get you a heart piece.
Not super useful, but I mean, it's hey, you got this in Ocarina of Time. Remember how it looks like Pikachu?
Yeah, there you go. How about the Postman's hat? So given to you by the Postman after he delivers his final letter in the Couple's Mask side quest. You can check mailboxes. Maybe a heart piece is there?
Yeah, nah, that one's who needs to deliver mail in this age?
It's true. How about the Mask of Truth? So obtained by beating the Golden Skelta House in the Southern Swamp. What a great idea! Focus a collectible into one contained area. This game just gets me. You can talk to animals and maybe gossip stones?
Yeah, it's not super useful. It's like using the hammer to smash clocks and...
I almost feel like that deserves its own category because I think it's a fun mask to get. But once I get it, I never use it.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, there's lots of masks that are kind of fun and progress the story, but like useful things, like let's say in the Link Battle Royale, is he gonna bust out this?
No.
Probably not.
No. Then afterwards, maybe I'll count how many masks does she get in the Couple's Mask quest, because I feel like it's a lot. But the Mask of Seth. So obtained by completing the Deku Butler's race, you can find mushrooms, which becomes potions. And you probably want to pick it up on your actual main playthrough, so you don't have to go back and beat the temple, Woodfall Temple, for the second time. So it's like kind of fun to get, but useless.
Yeah, and it's a pig face, so he kind of just snorts around.
Yeah, it's kind of looks silly, so that's kind of neat. How about the Dawn Garos Mask? Obtained by throwing the frozen rock to the Goron on the ice ledge. You can gather 5 frogs from around Termina and play a side game. Your reward.
Yeah.
Kind of annoying to get the piece of meat. Kind of annoying thing they want you to do. Just annoying.
Also, yeah, because everything's super time dependent. And it basically eats up a whole pass through of the 3 days. Yeah.
Don't have a lot of masks left, and I just like to point out we're been stuck at 7 for a little while. So, How about the Romani's mask? So after saving the milk during the alien side quest, you can get a cow hat, which gives you access to unlimited magic.
I think it's useful because, I mean, having unlimited magic in a Zelda game is ridiculous.
For like the dozen times I beat this game and never used unlimited magic, what was I thinking?
Why? Why would you struggle through all the, and it's like, why go through all that heartbreak and the struggle and the timing and how many times they're like, oh, let me save my thing, so I better turn off the lens of truth. Why?
Yeah, no, it actually, literally, you may not need to collect stray fairies with it, right?
Yeah.
Because in theory, you don't get it till... So in this game, it's different. You get the Goron, and then so basically, Snowhead Temple, you could go into Romani's ranch, get unlimited magic anytime you want, and there'd be no need to actually collect stray fairies.
Yeah.
Spin attack, kind of useless. Double defense, I guess, has a purpose. So maybe you'd want to do that, the Great Bay Temple, but the Great Fairy Sword I also never use.
Yeah.
So arguably, this actually gets rid of one of the big unlockables in the game. So it's kind of cool. How about the Garos Mask? So if you can beat the Goron Brothers race, you get this mask that can awaken spirits in Icona Canyon.
Yeah, not super useful. Just kind of...
It's there.
It might as well be a key.
It's not part of the couple's mask, so that's pretty exciting. How about the Captain's hat? So obtained by awakening the giant skeleton in the fight with him in the graveyard. You can avoid fighting Gibdos, or does it just give you funny cutscene with the skeleton guy? Oh wait, you need to get the Song of Storm. I forgot. That's an interesting way to write sentence.
Yeah.
There you go. Probably not that useful.
No. Again, you get a cute cutscene, but we're not giving up points usefulness for being entertaining.
All right, how about the Stone Mask? So you can, if you give a red potion to a dead soldier, it makes you so plain that no one notices you. Makes sneaking a little bit easier, but then you don't get to shoot Gerudos.
Yes, but it does make you invisible. So essentially, you can just.
Is that a good mask, then?
I think so.
All right.
I think so.
All right, well, look at that. Pushed it over. I did not say that, so I'm stuck at 8. About the Circus/Troop Leader Mask. So if you play the 4 parts of the song in the milk bar, this cranky guy gives it to you. You needed it for a bottle in the 3DS remake, and I think the Gorman brothers don't attack you if you wear it during the milk heist.
Interesting. I didn't realize that they wouldn't attack you. That'd be helpful.
Yep.
But
how about the useful?
Nah.
No, all right. How about the all-night mask? So you can buy it from the Curiosity Shop for $500 if you prevent the bomb heist. So he doesn't steal the bomb. Instead, he sells this interesting mask. So you can use it to get some heart pieces and learn some lore.
Yeah, again, not super useful.
Yeah. How about... Kind of interesting. So you find out that with the mask, you can get the backstory on what the festival is that celebrates these 4 giants, and Then you learn about the 4 giants and their friend, this imp guy, who was kind of lonely because he was friends with the giants. Then they left him one day for all of mankind, not just him, and he had to learn not to be selfish. I wonder if the little imp did it. About the Gibdo Mask. So obtained if you save the girl's dad instead of killing him, which I tried to do, you can speak with the Gibdos and enter the dumb bottom of the well.
Yeah, I also did try to kill the dad.
Yeah.
Could be replaced with a key, not super useful.
Yeah. All right, how about the Couple's Mask? So your reward for completing a very complicated side quest. Your reward is the reward.
Yeah, it's neat, but again, you have to collect mask to collect a mask that does nothing.
Yeah, so let's...
Minus the ending of the game where you need 24 masks.
Fair enough. Okay, let's talk about the Giant's Mask. Then we'll double back to the Couple's Mask, because I had some dumb things happen to me. So obtained as a special item in the Stone Tower Temple, you can defeat the bosses easier if you have it, and it's mandatory in the 3DS remake.
Yeah, this one's super, super helpful. I wish you could use it more than just the one boss room. Battle. Yeah, because it's like...
So the final score, for anyone counting, is Tyson has 10 useful masks. I only have 8.
Okay.
I do not think the Giant's Mask is that interesting. Like, I think it's... I've never tried fighting the twin Rova or twin molds without it. Okay. So, like, that's kind of one of those things. I'm like, if it makes the fight more challenging, that makes sense. Yeah. The fight in the 3DS in my mind is just kind of annoying, so I don't like that. And the Stone Mask, I like sniping me some Gerudos. So.
Yeah, and I mean, it's the only usefulness is its invisibility. But I mean,
in one section, and
it's one dungeon specific. Yeah. So yeah, pretty. It's interesting how like there's 24 of these darn masks and not that many good ones.
So for just the Couple's Mask, we're gonna talk about that. So it starts off with the Cafe Mask. You need that. So that's one. It then goes to the Keaton Mask, the Postman Mask, and that's it. And then I guess that. So there's 4 masks that are tied.
I swear I had to use the Romani mask at some point to talk to that old lady.
Yeah, maybe to get inside. So 5? Yeah. So you need 5 masks? Oh, no, sorry, masks you get from it. Sorry. Right, so 5 masks. Right. 4 masks from it. So the Couple's Mask. So you start off by getting Cafe's Mask, who's this missing man. You talk to the owner of the Stockpot Inn, Anju, his fiancée-to-be. She then says, hey, come meet with me that night. Meet with her later that day. She gives you a letter, which you put in a post office or post box. When he delivers it, the postman delivers it the next day, you can go into Cafe's little house. I always thought you had to sneak in, but I think he just leaves the door unlocked after that point.
Yeah, he goes out to check the mail and you just break into his house.
What you don't want to do is after you meet with Anju and then you go and you drop off the box, you don't want to save the old lady from Sakon who steals the bomb bag.
Right.
Because then he won't show up in the curiosity shop to sell it later, which then finishes the task. So then you wait up until the final minutes of the final day and be like, why isn't Cafe leaving? So that's error 1 by me. So, okay, let's resolve that. So you go talk to Cafe and he says, hey, I'm going to wait here. I want you to take this pendant of mine and give it to Anju. So you do that. I don't know what that does. It says, I'm going to wait for him. So maybe she leaves town if you don't do that.
Yeah.
Which also might be kind of a screw up.
Could be, because there's this is the most convoluted.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the Great Goron Sword from Ocarina of Time, but worse.
Yeah, more time based. You have to be very specific with your trading sequence. It is kind of this game's trading sequence when you think of it. Yeah. So now that Anju is definitely staying because he gave the pendant, if you return on the 3rd day, the curiosity shop man is standing there and he's like, hey, by the way, Cafe went to go find this guy in Icona Canyon. He left you this mask. You go meet with him, and then at 6 o'clock on the final night or something, at 7, Sakon comes up to his hideout, goes inside. There's a little very simple sequence where it's a block puzzle and some combat against Deku Babas. Is that what those are called?
Yeah.
And that's a wolf. Very simple. Not very hard. And you get the Couple's Mask if you wait. So then the other thing you don't want to do is say, oh, hey, I'm good. Now that I've got all the masks, because I stopped the Sakon hideout part, I'm going to go fight the Skull Kid. So then you're on top of the clock tower, realizing you didn't get the freaking Couple's Mask. You have to do it all over again. So I had a good time.
Yeah. I was very strict to a guide when I did it, because I knew it's so easy to screw up.
Yeah.
To a point where... And it's dumb. Even if you don't have all the masks, then you don't get to really finish the ending correctly.
Yeah.
So if you get 23, not enough. You need that 24th one. You need that couples mask. And it's always the last one you get. It's just like that, kind of leaves that bad taste in my mouth because it's kind of grindy, very specific, and it's so easy to screw up.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you do it 3 times, it's really fun. Anyways, now that we've done that, really there's nothing else much left to do. There's some, like, arrows. You can do some arrow upgrades. There's a fishing hole in one of the games. There's, like, another thing. That's kind of it. We can go, like I said, now that the clock tower opens, there's 6 hours left. We can go up and we can fight Skull Kid for the final time. We can play the Oath of Order, which summons the 4 giants to come stop the moon, and I think that's it. Like, maybe he passes out, but then we learn that Skull Kid wasn't evil. It was the mask that was controlling him, and he goes to the moon, and we can follow, and then we end up on a giant green field with a giant tree in the middle.
Yeah, and all the monsters are now, like, the bosses that we beat are now masks on kids that running around the green field.
Look like the Happy Mask Salesman, which raises a lot of questions of what's the origin of the Happy Mask Salesman?
Yeah. There's definitely, like, he might be a mythical being brought upon to end the world.
Yeah, so what you get to do is, like Tyson was alluding to earlier, you need 24 masks, or 23 masks, sorry, because then you trade them with these kids and you go into these little mini game sections. So the Deku section sees you have to use your hover ability to fly to some, like, rotating platforms, and there's maybe combat, but I think that's it. And then you trade some more masks and you're done. The Goron rolling, typically there's, like, an extra challenge to get a heart piece. So the final heart piece, if you're collecting them all, is on the moon. The Deku one is, like, in the corner. The Goron one, if you just have to, like, speed roll and roll forward. You then hit these chests that are angled, and you should go along the track no problem. In the original, I think it's really simple. Literally, you just go forward and you don't touch it and you win.
Yeah. This one has, like, essentially once you get that first line, hopefully you are good, and then you kind of have to wiggle at some point, and it's so easy to just be like, well, you overshot this, do it again.
Didn't do it. Just got to the point where you can get, like Tyson said, there's a straight shot where you just kind of bounce, and then you can stop. You can go to the middle platform, roll to the ending, done, move on. Or you can suffer like a mother and try and do this really awful track that there was something I was missing. For some reason, I couldn't turn sharp enough, so there's obviously maybe I have to, like, press an extra button, but I didn't care.
No, at this point, with double defense, unlimited magic, and bloody, like, fairies in the bank, you don't need that extra health. I guarantee it.
Fine. So the Zora one, in the original, it's just a maze. Find yourself a map. You turn left or right. I think you get a heart piece as well as, or maybe there's a heart piece and then there's the ending. Super easy. In this one, you have to shoot along these pipes. Look for the pipe that have the little fishes, which shows you the way to go, as well as you have to hit a switch, which is really great because you activate the switch, you then stop, you then see this gate rise, kills your momentum of swimming, you then bounce into the wall, and then you got to keep going, and you have to do the weird Zora jump outside of the water, which I hate. The timing's really tough. I almost quit the first time I played, and it actually left such a bad taste. I called the 3DS remake of Majora's Mask a complete and utter failure based on how they botched the swimming mechanics of Zora's. It was fun in the first game. It was miserable in the second one. My second time through, still kind of tough.
That's really fair. I've always hated swimming in Zelda games. The dolphin jump is no exception. And yeah, specifically, and the best part is if you miss that jump, the water current just takes you and you do the whole thing again.
Son of a gun. Yeah, that's the thing I hate too. I'm just like, oh, it's so frustrating.
Yeah. So not only is it really specific and, like, a very, like, little time window to do it, but if you mess it up, you gotta do the whole thing again. So, let's say something takes you like 3-4 tries. You've now spent 40 minutes just fiddling around trying to make a stupid water jump. But, awful. It's game design.
Yeah. And then the other one is, I guess, like, the iconic canyon one. I don't remember it. Is it combat?
I don't think so.
I feel like you fight an iron knuckle, and, like, there's rooms that you go in, and there's, like, bomb chews. You fight someone, you get a bomb chew, and you have to, like, time the bomb chew to, like, reveal a switch, right?
I think so.
And then you fight something else, and then there's, like, a bomb chew thing on the ceiling.
I can't remember that, to be honest.
All right. Yeah, so that one's apparently not very memorable. Anyway, so then you do that. Your reward is you have no masks, and you're like, oh no, what have I done? So you talk to the final Skull Kid who's wearing Majora's Mask, sitting by the tree. He will say, hey, you don't have any masks, but I need masks to play. How about we play a game of good guys versus bad guys? I'll be the good guy, you be the bad guy, which I think somewhere in the manga, and I realize that the manga is not the game, like it's kind of extra material. It's interesting because I think it turns out that potentially the Great Deities Mask is what we get. So it turns Link into kind of a big version. He has a sword, he shoots magic. Might have been evil, might have been some type of like old tribe. Majora was from another tribe and they like warred with each other or something like that. So I mean, I guess from Majora's point of view, he is the good guy. But there is something in the manga where the Magic Mask Salesman, whom also might be villainous, FYI, has some line of dialogue, something about like, I need to get my hands on that evil mask, referring to the Great Deities masks. So it's kind of one of those interesting things. I always thought like fierce deity, I don't know, possesses, is evil. Kind of like Link takes on this evil entity.
Huh. Interesting. Because, I mean, it is kind of, it's a very extreme design. Mm-hmm. And it does have shades of almost like the Twilight Princess. So I feel like they kind of had an idea of where they were thinking to go with that. Because that's a little bit more of a darker Zelda than the other ones. Yeah, I don't know. Like there's definitely something wrong with that masked salesman. That man, he's not quite right.
Yeah, he's kind of. I mean, he was a throwaway character, kind of had an eerie design, and then they built a cool backstory for him. So I kind of like when they do that. Now, essentially, our reward, Fierce Deity, is easy mode, cheat mode. We're fighting Majora. He has 3 phases. If you're a Fierce Deity and you have unlimited magic, you just Z-target him and shoot him with magic bolts till he dies. And then the game's over. But if you're a little more adventurous, and you're like, I want to try this, not fighting it. His first phase, he's just a flying mask. He's got tendrils. You have to find a Deku hole, and you shoot up into him until he raises the other masks that are on the walls of the Georgs and the Twin Molds and the Aquandas, or whatever his name is. They hover around the room. You can shoot them down, I think, with light arrows, which, again, if you have unlimited magic, not a big issue. I actually don't know if I completed him. I think you just have to do that. You have to like go into the little hole and shoot out with the proper timing. He then grows into like Majora's Wrath or something like that.
Something like that.
He's like a crazy looking guy, runs around the room, does funky dances. Light arrows, again, if you kind of sit back, you shoot him with Fierce Deity Mask, he goes down no problem. It's definitely a little bit more easy to handle. And then his final, that might be called Majora's Wrath. And he has these 2 long tendrils, and he'll whip you, and he like is a little bit more bulky. But again, if you have light arrows and they're unlimited, and you've got the like unlimited magic, you kind of win, right? Like, I mean, either way, folks, I've heard it's a tougher enemy, like a tougher boss, without using the Fierce Deity Mask. So I wanted to try for the first time ever to defeat him normally.
He's not super tough without it, but with it, he's pretty well. He's not hard. You'd have to mess up pretty bad to die.
No, I think Demise is maybe the villain in Skyward Sword, and you have to like motion control fight. That one's tough. Cool. The Twilight Princess final fight with Ganon, kind of interesting, right? Maybe Breath of the Wild Ganon, if you're not super powerful, could be tough. This guy could be up there, but again, if you cheese the system with either the mask or the unlimited magic, and otherwise it's just resource management. Oh, my energy's done. I guess I'll just go get this unlimited refill of magic. Like it's just another step. So.
Yeah, and I think it's just like, how do you want to go into your inventory and click around, or do you just want to be able to just bust out your arrows and shoot the dang thing?
Pretty much.
Yeah, and it's like one of those things where it's like, now that you know that there's unlimited magic in this game, it's like, why would you struggle with it when it's like 100 coins?
I have no idea. Anyways, so that's it. You kind of go around the world. Now that the mask's defeated, the moon kind of rises. The giants take off. They say goodbye. Everyone kind of isn't mad at the imp. What the frick's it called? Skull Kid?
Skull Kid, yeah.
Skull Kid. Then, other than that, you kind of just go around the world and you see that everyone's life's a little bit better. And they survived the apocalypse. And look, Anju and Cafe actually get married. And Anju's a man. Or Cafe's a man. It's kind of cute credits. You then ride off on your horse stoically, and you see a cute little drawing in the Lost Woods of Skull Kid, Link, and 2 fairies. The end.
Yeah. Okay, so weird thing about the ending. Skull Kid was basically like, oh, I just don't have any friends. I just really want some friends. Like, are you going to be my friend? And Link doesn't talk, so he just kind of is like standing there. And then essentially, like, Tattle or the one that follows
Tail. Tattletale.
Yeah. She was just kind of interrupts and's like, oh, so Link, you're leaving right now soon, eh? And it's like, I think Skull Kid was legitimately just asking to hang out, and then the fairies were both just like, no, we don't want to hang out with Link, so leave. And it's like, he just wanted a friend. Yeah. I feel like we're about to reset this clock all over again.
Yeah. So. And that's it. You in the 3DS, definitely make sure you save, because I almost shut it off at the end of the credits. And then you can kind of get the Fierce Deity Mask. You could go back and fight the other bosses. Quadwala? Whatever the forest or the Woodfall Temple boss is. Yeah. Super easy with Fierce Deity. Goat is kind of tough, because you kind of have to like shoot your laser discs at him. So I tried that. I didn't try Gjorg or whatever, the fish, and I didn't try the other ones. I don't know. It's just other things you can do after the game. Obviously, there's lots of little details. You can go into the heart pieces that we didn't. Maybe there's other side quests. I think we talked side quests a little bit. Anyway, essentially, that is Majora's Mask. Done. It's exciting. I got
Very
a final,
cool.
Yeah, mysterious area of Termina. We can kind of save our final opinions, I think, for our last show. And we'll do kind of a big recap of the series, the 3DS versus the original. We're going to get a randomizer that we're going to talk about as well. And kind of that's going to be our little bit of a challenge. We're going to take a little bit of a pause, because really we only have one episode left, and then we're done this retrospective. Yep. And that'll probably be closer to November. So it's a big stretch. It's like 2 months or something like that. And kind of go from there. So
yeah, but I think, closer to November is a little bit closer to Spooky Scary Month. And we'll have some masks kicking around. So who knows? Maybe you even find yourself a little Majora's Mask and you dress up as Majora's... the Skull Kid. Name. Yeah. You dress up the Skull Kid and listen to our final episode.
Yay, that sounds fun. Sounds like a good time. So I think that's just kind of our time frame. So if you're following along diligently, you love these episodes, they are going to be taking just a little bit of a pause, because I think we just need to get our hands on a randomizer. And based on another project that we're taking, it's going to take us into October. October's already token. Maybe November. Maybe even December. It might be literally a year-long adventure. So that's it. So let's end with a final mysterious area of Termina.
Also James Bond.
Okay, cool. And then we're out. So the Song of Storms. So did we find the origin of the song? In Ocarina of Time, a man teaches us a Song of Storm because a younger version of ourselves taught it to him, the grandfather paradox. Well, the composer brothers, Sharp, wrote the song in Termina. Maybe we weren't the green boy the boy in the green tunic that taught the song to the man in the windmill. Maybe it was this version of it. So maybe it's like later on in the timeline. So between those 7 years, Link learns the song in Termina, comes back to Hyrule, maybe goes on another adventure, and in the meantime he's like, hey, I learned this song in Termina, teaches it to the man, and he goes into the cycle of Ocarina of Time.
Could be. That's why he'd be so obsessed about it, because that guy be literally playing that 24/7.
And I definitely didn't write those notes before I played through all these ones, because I might have talked about the Stockpot Inn and the kind of the interesting weird masks on the wall and the creepy old grandma that knows the stories about all these old masks and like the magic that exists in the realm. Maybe next time we talk about that, though.
Yeah, it's lots of neat little things to uncover, and this is one of the deepest lore-rich Zelda games, and I keep saying that, but it's true. Like, every nook and cranny, like, if you're one of those people who just clicks through dialogue, maybe don't do that for this game. Because there's just, everywhere you look and everywhere you check, there's awesome things to discover and to just immerse yourself in. And I feel like I learned so much replaying this one.
Yeah, and taking some more time and like breaking and thinking about stuff. So awesome, cool. Yeah, so we will have a final show with our final thoughts, and we'll do kind of a big overarching narrative at some point this year. So we're not just pausing like we're still thinking about it. It's just obviously we're stopping a little bit. So there you go. So with that, ends it for now. See you guys. I don't know exactly what's coming out next, but you'll hear us soon.
Bye.
Bye.